All right, welcome back to Just Car Guys, the show where me and my dad Pete talk about the latest car news and some of the crazy stories from this week. First off, here's some excellent, fantastic news from Toyota. Toyota is expanding the Gazoo Racing sub-brand to cars beyond just the 86 and the Supra. In a recent interview with Motor Trend, the VP of Sales said the automaker plans to expand its performance sub-brand to more cars, not SUVs. Quote, "I don't want to eliminate anything, but initially no. The importance is exhilarating driving. When you go to SUVs, you have a higher center of gravity and it's just not conducive. Nothing is off the table, but initially you can expect it to be a car-based vehicle." So I mean, this could be anything like a GR Corolla. We've seen the GR Yaris overseas. Unfortunately, we don't get it here. Such a cool little hot hatch. Maybe a GR Camry.
Hey, I'm glad they're going down this path.
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
So cool. I'm excited to see what comes.
Overdue for them.
But man,
I mean, they've established themselves with the TRD packages, with the off-road capability and all of that. So good for them to take down another performance path. For the cars. I'm
so excited just because what Toyota does is they do some incredible stuff. And now that they have this GR brand to tailor to all us enthusiasts here and bring us just some incredible cars, I'm excited. So next is some interesting Ferrari news. The F8 Tributo is only just 2 years old, but there's already a replacement in the works, and it most likely features a hybrid V6. Now, most of this is speculation, but enthusiasts are guessing this vehicle will be the Ferrari Dino, and it will use a similar platform as the Maserati MC20. The vehicle will come as a plug-in hybrid, taking after the insane SF90, and the Dino or SF60, whatever Ferrari decides to call it, will most likely reveal itself September 7th, day one of the Frankfurt Motor Show.
Cool.
I mean, I'm for it. I'm excited to see what they give us.
It should be interesting. I cringe a little bit. I like the V8 Ferrari sound and all that. If they can engineer, which, I mean, they've got people focused on how these things sound. So hopefully they're laser focused on making sure that when they bring that car, it sounds like a Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that is also my biggest concern as well. There was some footage of it going around a test track. It did seem pretty quiet, but who knows? Maybe they're trying to keep it quiet to not reveal that it still sounds good or something. Like they want to make it more of a surprise to everybody. But I'm very interested to kind of see what that turns into. So next up here, Kia has revealed the new 2023 Sportage. So here, introducing the 2023 Kia Sportage and its bold new design. Now, with it being a brand new release, they have not given any real information when it comes to powertrains, options, and features, but the car does get just about a complete exterior and interior redesign, coming with a much more premium feel, especially with the new infotainment system. I mean, that's a pretty substantial front end overhaul on that thing.
I'm kind of liking what Kia is doing. They're getting very creative with their design work, just the front end and the rear end of all of their redesigns have been just a step apart from what others are doing. So yeah, I
agree with you. I mean, this is like a pretty extreme design, but it looks pretty decent. Yeah. Like, it's not ugly or horrible. Here's the interior as well. I mean, pretty nice. It looks like they're working closer and closer towards that integrated dash you were talking about.
There you go.
It does look like it's still kind of a separated screen, but it's one screen, which I like.
Kind of panoramic view there.
It just keeps it all together instead of splitting it up into a couple iPads.
Better engineered in there, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So next is an insane new Bugatti. Introducing the Bugatti Chiron SS. So this Bugatti features a reworked version of the insane 8-liter quad-turbo W16, bringing the red line from 6,800 RPM to 7,100 RPM, and giving this beast 1,578 horsepower and 1,180 pound-feet of torque for a top speed of 273 miles per hour. They also gave this the aerodynamic treatment everywhere with more aggressive front and rear ends, as well as 18 holes on top of the front fenders to reduce pressure in the wheel well. So you can see them kind of on that picture there.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
I'll tell you what, I really have not ever truly been a fan of the way those look. but there's something about this particular one that just the front end looks kind of mean, you know?
There's just
yeah.
I'm with you.
It's getting closer. Like for me, anyways.
Yeah.
I know they're extreme and they're fantastic, and it's all personal preference, right?
Yeah.
But boy, that thing looks sinister.
I mean, I'm with you 100%. Original, like the Veyron, I'm gonna be honest, was never completely my cup of tea.
I appreciate it for what it was,
exactly,
like
what
it could deliver,
awesome.
and the stats. It didn't look as beautiful, in my opinion.
I agree.
This is on another level.
Yeah. Yep. And look at that interior, man. Like that is.
Yeah, that looks
gorgeous.
Outstanding.
I love it. And I mean, the quad pipes are actually pretty cool. The way they have them set up there. Yeah. It's just now to get this insane car, you will sadly have to spend $3.9 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's still really cool. Quite the contrast here. We go from the super expensive car to the cheapest Ford you can buy. This is the extremely affordable 2022 Ford Maverick.
Oh, that's a Maverick. Okay.
This starts at just $21,490, which is crazy. Now, for that price, you may think that this truck may not be worth it, but it can still haul up to 1,500 pounds in the bed and tow up to 4,000 pounds with the optional $745 towing package. Fully optioned out, this thing ends up just over $35,000. The cheap price is just for the base Maverick XL, which is very much a work truck coming with steel wheels and the optional towing package. And in order to get all-wheel drive, you do have to add the 2-liter EcoBoost turbo inline-4 engine, bringing the cheapest total for an all-wheel drive version to $24,795. I mean, that's cheap.
It's not bad for a pickup, yeah. It will be interesting to see what its size is like compared to, sitting next to a Ranger as an example.
It's a small little truck.
Yeah.
But, I mean, from there, you can also get the Maverick XLT and the Lariat, which, as you go up, add more features and niceties like nicer wheels, better tech, more climate control settings, leather steering wheel, etc. I mean, this interior it looks pretty good. I like it. Next, we have some BMW news.
All right.
Introducing the 2022 BMW X4 and X4M. Coming with
the color.
I know, it looks fantastic. Coming with, you guessed it, bigger grills. But they don't look out of place on these. This actually doesn't look that bad. I mean, I like it. It fits on this car.
They do still have bodywork underneath that splits the top and the bottom.
Exactly. So the SUVs have received some styling tweaks on the head and tail lights, with more aggressive front and rear bumpers as well. The interior received some updates, coming with a larger base screen, bigger air vents, and redesigned HVAC controls. The base 2-liter inline-4, making 242 horsepower and 252 pound-feet of torque, has remained unchanged, but the X4 M40i, with a turbocharged 3-liter inline-6, introduces 48-volt hybrid tech, pushing 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. These are cool.
That should perform pretty well. Yeah.
What
do you think? What do you think about it's sort of a new age snowflake design on the wheels?
I like that.
Yeah.
So that's the X4M. I really like those wheels. I like them a lot. So the X4M and the X4M competition also see these torque increases, giving the standard X4M 457 pound-feet of torque and the competition 479 pound-feet of torque, bringing the 0 to 60 times to 3.9 seconds and 3.7 seconds. And I mean, for a big SUV like that's moving pretty quick.
Yeah.
The rest of the performance features like suspension, all-wheel drive, and transmission all stay the same. And the cars do feature some new safety tech with BMW's Driving Assistance Professional, combining active cruise control and active lane keeping assist to keep drivers safe. This interior looks awesome.
I like the seats a lot.
I really love it.
A good, rise on the bolsters there, and I like the quilting in the center, but just the center stretch is kind of cool. Yeah,
how it's got the quilted set, and I agree with you. And then they have your favorite non-integrated screen on there.
Yeah,
And this
it's
one, I
not
don't
as
feel like
bad
it
as
looks
some
as
of the
bad. Yeah.
others I've seen, but still not great.
And then, of course, that refreshed rear end. I like it. So BMW has also given us more this week, introducing the 2022 BMW X3 and X3M. Now, these also received just about identical treatment as the X4 and X4M, coming with updated front and rear fascias, headlights and taillights, and interior changes. The all-wheel drive X3 M40i also comes with that 48-volt hybrid system that we saw in that X4. The X3M also receives higher torque with output going from 442 to 457 pound-feet of torque and 473 horsepower. Now, I did notice something here. You can kind of see, they did change those headlights a bit to make them a little more aggressive. They got a little break in them and they're a bit sharper.
Yep.
I like it. I do feel like the radar on this too looks a bit more integrated than it normally does.
Yep.
It's a bit more recessed, and with the way that front kind of silver lip on it is, it makes it look a little more hidden instead of out in plain sight. It's ugly little box.
A well-designed feature versus just kind of stuck on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I
And
like
then-
the grill better on that too, by the way, than the 4. Yeah.
I agree. It looks really good. I mean, I like it in black, but I bet it,
True. I'm just
I agree with
the
you
size and
100%.
the design.
Yeah, the proportions as well. It just
Yeah.
looks a lot better with the rest of the face. And the competition's 503 horsepower engine goes from 442 pound-feet of torque to 479 pound-feet of torque. The rest of the performance things like suspension and transmission also don't change from the previous model, and the X3 interior also gets a refresh with bigger screens, a redesigned center console, and dashboard. And the BMW news does not stop, introducing the 2022 BMW 4 Series Gran Coupe. Besides the hatchback, this car is honestly significantly similar to the coupe and convertible when it comes to size, powertrains, and features. Mechanically, there are really no differences between this and the two-door 4 Series models. The 430i comes with a 2-liter turbo inline-4 pushing 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. And the M440i has a turbocharged inline-6 making 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Both of these engines come with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the M440i will launch with all-wheel drive and the 430i with rear-wheel drive. Honestly, this is, at least as far as the Gran Coupe goes, the best one they've made, because that GT that they made before was awful. I hated that car. This looks
not
good.
a good look. Yeah,
I like
this. This is better. I still prefer the coupe version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm just not a big fan of the Sportback, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not my thing.
I mean,
But what they've done is tone it down in this.
yes.
It doesn't look as much of the Sportback.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But still, I kind of
But
still
there's
prefer
also something about a car that's a sedan, but it also has a hatch that I kind of like.
Yeah.
It's just kind of different. I don't know. I like it. So next now, to switch up from BMW, we have some Jaguar news, if you could even call it that. Introducing the 2022 Jaguar I-Pace, this being the company's only EV as it has announced its transition to full electric. It has received a very, very, very slight refresh. The only real exterior change for the I-Pace is the grille surround going from chrome to Atlas gray, as well as some new wheel designs. And the interior as well sees very little changes except for the new and improved Privy Pro infotainment system. And that's it.
You know what though? Like I saw one in person the other day. It's not a bad looking car.
Yeah, they really aren't that bad. I mean, the interior looks really nice. I mean, it's a Jaguar, that's for sure.
Well, and it hasn't even been out. I shouldn't even say that. I don't think it's been out that long, but it's not.
Long.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's due for a refresh. You know?
Oh yeah, no, I agree
But,
100%. I mean, it's
yeah.
still, it looks decent.
Yeah.
The GR86 already is getting aftermarket support. HKS has gotten their hands on this 2022 GR86 and already has a supercharger kit for it. HKS recently revealed their GR86 HKS concept, featuring a supercharger, aftermarket exhaust system, and tons of exterior goodies, as you can see here. Like, we get carbon fiber canards, front lip spoiler, a rear wing and smaller ducktail wing, and rear diffuser. They also played with the handling, giving the car Hypermax S coilovers, Advan Racing GT Beyond wheels, and stickier Advan Neova AD08R tires. This thing looks good.
This gives me hope
Yes,
that
I'm
car
with you.
can look better than what the initial photos that
Yeah.
I've seen, because I mean we just saw like an early FRS the other day,
Yeah.
and I was like, that is such a good looking car.
It's so good.
It's stood the test of time for the handful of years that it's been out, and I'm still a little, I want to see one of these in person, the base model, but this is so promising that
Yeah.
with a couple of modifications it can look pretty cool. So
And that rear end too. What's
That looks
really
good.
the front end to me on both of them looks pretty decent. It's that rear end that I'm having trouble with. On this car though, whatever they did, it looks great. I
Yeah,
love
I agree.
it way more than the stock version. Ford has given us the numbers for the 2021 F-150 Raptor. Now, this may be a disappointment to some of you, but Ford has ditched the 6.2-liter V8 for an EcoBoost V6, pushing 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Now, with this major disappointment, since the Ram TRX has 702 horsepower, Ford does have a solution to this. That being the upcoming V8-powered Raptor R, rumored to be pushing around 700 horsepower to compete with that TRX, and that's all we have. No further details have been announced. But I mean, still an awesome truck.
yeah, those things are really cool.
They're just so
Yeah.
cool. Now, again, the rest of these are kind of some smaller stories here. We have some awesome Nissan news, which I am stoked for.
Okay.
Nissan is set to reveal the production 2022 Z on August 17th, 2021. Rumored to be called the 400Z because of its likely 400 horsepower twin-turbo 3-liter V6, the car is expected to be extremely similar to the Z proto concept, as we saw in those leaked images from that warehouse, as I assume you guys have seen online. Man, I hope it looks as good as this does, because
I'm
this
excited
looks
to see
beautiful.
it. Yeah, very cool.
I am super excited.
So over it. Now talk about somebody overdue.
Yeah,
for a
talk about
refresh.
overdue, man. What if we had the 370Z for like 14 years? It looked exactly the same.
This is gonna be great.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. And I've already
And good
seen
for that
some,
segment too.
Yeah.
Just keep the innovation coming.
Exactly. And I've already seen also some renderings, like incredible renderings of this thing already lowered with some wheels and a wing. Looks so good. Now, touching on something that we spoke about from a previous episode, we have some news from Chevy about a special edition C8 Corvette. Introducing the 2022 Corvette Stingray IMSA GTLM Championship Edition. This special edition is obviously a nod towards their racing success in the 2020 IMSA series, and it looks awesome. So there will only be 1,000 made, and with this special edition you get Accelerate yellow or hypersonic gray paint, contrasting accent stripes, carbon flash painted wing, yellow brake calipers, black wheels, carbon flash painted mirrors, black rockers, and splash guards, as well as a large C8.R decal on the side of the car. That's
thing's
such
awesome.
a cool picture
Yeah,
too, having it
that's
right
great.
next to the series car.
I like the color
There's something
choices
so
too.
cool
you
about
know,
that.
between the two, and
Oh yeah. Last but not least is a first look at a new Lexus SUV, introducing the 2022 Lexus NX, coming with much more aggressive front and rear ends, as you could see with that huge grille up front compared to its previous models. This vehicle is still also largely based off the RAV4, but as you can tell, it is much fancier. The interior gets a complete revamp with much more luxury options, such as a bigger screen, updated infotainment system, and much more practical features.
I like the back better.
And
than
oh yeah, it
what
looks
they've
good.
been
So they did
bringing.
something different with this too, they actually spelled out the
I
Lexus
see that.
name
Yeah,
in a different font than they've ever used.
instead of doing the logo.
And they said it's just because it fits better and that they aren't changing it, but that's just how they wanted to
It
do
probably
it for
does.
this
There's
car.
not much body work right there in that
Yeah.
section, so yeah.
100%. So, and when I say practical features like I did before, I basically mean they removed that stupid touchpad that you have to use and they changed it to a touch screen, which is way, way better. Now, the NX lineup has also majorly changed and now consists of the NX 250, NX 350, NX 350H Hybrid, and NX 450H Plus plug-in hybrid. Lots of numbers and letters. Enthusiasts can also opt for the F Sport package.
I was going to say, that looks like an F Sport badge on the front quarter panel.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay.
So enthusiasts can also opt for the F Sport package, getting adaptive suspension and sportier tuning with some sportier appearance pieces, 20-inch black wheels, and exclusive paint options. And I mean, this interior looks awesome. Looks
it's
just
pretty cool.
really nice.
Like the mood lighting coming off the door panel there.
I love that.
That's
I
kinda
mean,
cool.
Nobody can do that like Mercedes, though.
Yeah.
They've got the best lighting in there.
I don't know about this just little strip of leather that runs up the center console and towards that. I don't know. It just seems misplaced.
Maybe it makes more sense from a different angle.
It could,
Like
but it doesn't
from the
carry up
driver's
from
side.
the passenger side at all, so it looks imbalanced. And,
Yeah.
like if it wasn't there, it'd be better. It seems somehow, but
You got a point. No,
I don't
agree.
know. It just, and maybe it's just because it's such a contrasting color to the rest of the
Yeah.
interior, but not sure about that. I'd like to see that in person, really.
And that screen also a little bit more
They're doing better.
integrated on there.
See, they're
as
listening.
We're seeing. Yeah, they must be Lexus. They must be watching us,
Yep.
man. They know what we're talking
You're
about.
welcome.
So that is it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at AnthonyCIFAL. And with that, have an excellent rest of your week.
Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you later.
Peace out.